Hello, I'm Kendra, and this is Hooked by Happenstance Makes Monday, episode number 8, Minimal. Why minimal, you ask? Well, according to Google, minimal is an adjective meaning of a minimum amount, quantity, or degree negligible. And that is how my crocheting has felt this week. I do have some things to show you, but I intentionally did not produce a lot this week. I think it was Tuesday, my hand started bothering me. I was having like aching and pain through this half of my hand, and then over the week it has progressed to hurting down into my wrist, and now it has come back up out of my wrist, and now it is mostly just like through this part of my hand is really achy and sore, and then there's some pain through my finger. So I've been trying to lay off the hook in the hopes that my hand would get better, and there were a couple of days there where I couldn't have crocheted if I wanted to, and even right now I've crocheted a little today, and it might be the end of my crocheting for the day, just to not cause any further injury. So it is minimal what I have to show you, but that's okay. It's, I think, good to accept our limitations and enjoy the crafting we can do, but accept that sometimes you can't do it all. We're gonna start with what is off my hook. And if you saw Wednesday's We Hook Wednesday video, this is pocket number 6, made out of the color Jade of Red Heart Super Saver and an eye hook. The pattern for this is on my blog, HookedByHappenstance.com, where you can find that. There is also a video on this channel walking you through the stitches. I know there's been some confusion about how to lay out the pockets, and that is, I'm sure, entirely my fault of explaining it weirdly. There will be a video coming up to show you how to lay things out and how to hook them together and all of those things. I just need time and energy and a functioning hand to make that happen. This is the first thing off my hook. The next thing off my hook you also will have seen on this channel already. If you watched my Speedy Stitches video on Saturday, it was the crochet coaster on Ravelry. It says by the Coats Design Team. There is a link there that takes you to the Wayback Machine, to a defunct website, where you can find this very simple, I think very nice pattern. I showed you some that I was making last week to go with my bicycle themed update, that this looked like both flowers and bicycles, just like a couple of my project bags that went up last week. This is made out of Burnout Handicrafter in whatever the gray color is, I can never remember, and a size 7 hook, which is 4.5 millimeter. So that is that. You've seen both of those. If you haven't, check out the rest of the channel. They're on there. And then today, I actually made this set of 4 coasters. The pattern is my own. It is yet to be named, but that will be rectified tomorrow. And here is one of them. They are kind of in celebration of the 4th of July. Kind of remind me of fireworks a bit in the middle. There's a bit of sparkle, and then just some patriotic colors. Now this one was my favorite and Steve's least favorite. So, and then the 4th one in the set, which has the variegated sparkly center and the blue outline. So there will be more about these coming up. They will be featured on the blog as well as a tutorial video that will both come out tomorrow on Tuesday, the 4th of July here in the States. Which I recognize that you could use these for the 4th of July, but if you use different color schemes, these would be appropriate for any kind of festive holiday. And if you did want to make some more patriotic ones, we still have Labor Day coming up at the end of the summer. Plus, it's always appropriate to have red, white, and blue, right? Okay, so those are all of the things that are off my hook. That's it, people. And until today, 4 of those things didn't exist. Minimal. So, what is on my hook? I started this on Monday. It is another one of the owls. Like I had last week, I had made an owl out of pink and blue. And this one is out of, I think it's Artistic Print is the variegated Red Heart Super Saver, and then the purple is Lavender. And these were some scrap balls that I had in my scrap bin of large scraps. And this was how far I got with the balls that I had. I need to add a few more rounds, but I needed more yarn to do that, and I cut down on my crocheting before I got that finished. The pattern's from Daisy Cottage Designs, and I used a G-hook. That's right. I knew what I used. It was hanging on to this before I brought it outside, because I know lots of people like will put like a progress keeper or something into their loop to keep it, you know, from coming unraveled. I just leave my hook in and then I pull it and it's fine. And if I want to use that hook, I just pull my loop longer, and it never really bothers me to have to redo a stitch or two if I have to. I don't usually have an issue with it. So now the other thing that is still on my hook is my Havana shirt dress, which I did make progress on Monday. See, my hook hooked onto my project. This is made out of a mystery yarn from Joann's from a mill end bag, an H hook, which is 5.0 millimeters, and the pattern is by Crystallized Designs, called the Havana shirt dress. So here we are. Last week I was almost through the bodice. I finished the rest of the bodice rounds, and I am working on my first round of the body repeats. So that is where that's at. I was really excited to get more work done on this because I was, you know, enjoying having something different to do with it, and I was enjoying how it was turning out, and then, yeah, wah wah. But I'll get it done. I think I still have time before the fair. Maybe. I hope. Oh, I hope. So that is all of that. Now I do have a wee bit of yarn to show you, but first I wanted to tell you some happenstance circumstance. I'm going to be celebrating Independence Day by putting some extra energy into my independent business, Hooked by Happenstance, and y'all benefit because I'm going to put out content every day this week. So today you get the podcast. Tomorrow there will be a tutorial, you know, Tuesday tutorial, a tutorial of how to make those coasters, and the accompanying pattern will go up on the blog. Wednesday we have another We Hook Wednesday pocket coming out. Thursday, I will be probably doing another Etsy update is my plan. If life gets in the way, there will definitely be another crochet or some sort of video for you here. Friday, I have a surprise thing that I've been wanting to add, and it became very apparent to me when I was moving things into my new office, which is what we've decided to call my crafting space. And as I was moving things in there, I found some things I'd like to show you all and do some things with. So that will be coming up starting on Friday. Saturday will be another Speedy Stitches video. If you have anything in particular that you think I should do for a Speedy Stitches, if you want to leave that in the comments here for me, that would be great, or anywhere, because I would like to know what you all would like to see, or if you have any ideas for patterns that you are able to work up. It needs to be something I can do in like less than an hour and a half. An hour and a half is really pushing it for being able to compress the video that small. So let me know if you have ideas. And then, of course, Sunday, another Etsy update preview. And then Monday, we're here for episode 9. So it should be a fun week of things, you know, celebrating our independence and the independent business. And you should go celebrate all your independent businesses and independent business people that you know. Even if it's just by telling them, like, hey, I like your stuff. Even if you're not going to go and procure any of it for yourself, that is totally fine. Now, I procured some things for myself the other day when I was at Walmart. We were walking around, and I always check the aisles just to see if anything has gone marked down. And I was looking at the cotton because I assume that soon they're going to switch out their colors from the summer ones kind of over to their fall. So there's going to be a clearance here soon, because I'd seen clearancing in some of the other areas of the store. Well, I go over and there are some yellow tags on the yarn. Regularly $1.50 balls of peaches and cream, $1/4. Yep, that's right, $1/4 per ball. So, needless to say, I purchased everything they had that was marked down to that price. Now, not everything was available at that price, but there were some colors. So here is what I got. It is worth noting that when I saw them for $1/4 and I started picking them up, Steve came over and went, you're gonna get them all, right? And I said, yeah. He said, are you sure they're not all on sale? And I said, I don't think so. So he took a skate and he went and price checked it to make sure that none of the other colors were on sale, because if they were, he wanted me to buy it all. So nice to have an enabler. So here is what I got in this little bag. So I have Poppy, which is this variegated orange tones, kind of corally orange and white. Now, I don't really think this looks like poppy orange, but I'll take the name. The names are very often inaccurate. So 2 skeins of that, 3, 4, 5. So $1.25 in Poppy. So the next thing I got was this variegated called Shades of Rust. I've used this before. It's like a red and a brown, like a chocolate brown. I actually kind of think of this as cherry chocolates. I've used it before in a Valentine's-y pattern that I wrote. And there were 3 skeins of that color. Then we have gold. And there were 1, 2, 3 skeins of gold. And I like this one. This one actually makes a really nice sunflower, which is appropriate for things that I sell locally because, you know, Kansas sunflowers, always a good match. And finally, rosemary. There are 1, 2, 3, there's 4 skeins of this. And I'm really hoping they're not discontinuing this because this is my favorite color green that Peaches and Cream has out that they ever sell local to me. So if they're just going to go with that like patty green kind of color, I'm going to be really sad because I wish that they had more light colored options. What I really like, I had some, and I actually think it was Sugar and Cream, not Peaches and Cream, but that was like a brighter green, like kind of a chartreuse, but like really vibrant. I wish that they had more of that kind of green because I think it looks better as like a light-hearted rainbow than the dark green just kind of like drags the color palette down a little. So, I don't know. I guess you get what you get when you pay a quarter, right? So, that is everything that I purchased the other day. Just a wee bit of yarn. Just a wee bit. I showed you the wee bit of yarn that I picked up this week. I want to talk about what I'm going to do for the rest of the month. I'm going to do what I am thinking of as Stash Dive July. Both personally and business-wise, I intend to buy no fabric and no yarn this month. There are a few exceptions, and I'll go over those in a minute, but I just wanted to explain why. When I moved everything into my office, I was noticing that there's so many things that made me excited and made me want to work with them. And you have that same feeling usually when you go into a store. Like, I'll pick something up, I'll be like, oh my goodness, this is great, and then it will come home with me, and there's a reason. Well, once it's been home with me long enough, it no longer seems to have that like joy to it. More than anything, I honestly just kind of forget that it's there, or I move on to the next shiny thing I see when I'm out in a store. But why not shop my stash? Because my stash is pretty good. I'm going to just spend the rest of July taking what I have and turning it into bags, as well as my yarn taking what I have on hand and turning it into toys and things. Now I'm going to pick what I make based on what I have instead of deciding what I want to make and then making sure I have the things. Because I have a number of skeins that were purchased specifically with the idea of making particular items. And I just need to follow through and do those things. So Stash Dive July is going to be a thing for me. If you'd like it to be a thing for you, I think it could be a really good experience. I also know that there are lots of people that do no-buy months in July, because no-buy July sounds nice. Just kind of generally as an idea of like slashing your budget. So why not try and get through a bit of that backlog you probably have of stash right now to give you a little bit of money for, like, you know, real life things. Or if you want it to be crafty, save it, and then you will have a bigger chunk to use kind of moving into the fall and winter, which are honestly times when in the States it is much nicer to be doing all that heavy yarny goodness. It's when you're cold. Then it's cheaper than heat, right? So, Stash Dive July is a thing. So if you enjoyed what you saw today, why don't you put a thumbs up on it so that I know that you're out there. There is also a big red subscribe button down below me. If you click on that, then I will show up in your feed every time I put out a video. My timings can be a little inconsistent on when they come out just because that's how my life works. So the subscribe button really helps to make sure you don't miss anything of mine coming into your feed. Also on the screen, there is a link to the We Hook Wednesday video from this week in case you missed pocket number 6, and the Speedy Stitches video from this week in case you missed that as well. And as always, there's a link to my Etsy shop. If you would like to go and help support me, then I can keep making this free crafty content. Have a happy Independence Day, and don't forget to support independent businesses. See you next time. Bye!